block you.
So anybody that knows me out there right now, Miss Jess just said, I'm not talking enough. And all of my friends watching this are dying laughing right now. There's probably some of them that want to reach out to you and tell you you're insane. All right, we're going to talk about empathy. And empathy is like, you know, understanding someone's perspective, understanding or having a grasp on how they're feeling emotionally about it and their thoughts about it. You can pick that up from their body language while they're sharing with you, things like that. So funny enough, and I identify as empathic. When I was younger, I thought I just had a really good ability to read people. I was really good at it. And I researched it a bit, and from what I've read and heard, that it comes from early childhood. And if you have parents that are prone to mood shifts or toxic, narcissistic, whatever, so you're going to get mom's going to come home from work, if it's mom, let's say, and maybe she's happy, maybe she's raging from work, maybe she's drunk coming back from a happy hour meeting. And as a child, we have to immediately size her up within seconds of her walking through the door, see how her mood is, and then behave accordingly. To whether they're angry, upset, happy, drunk, whatever, high, I don't know, whatever you're dealing with as a child with this parent coming home, and you have to adapt like a chameleon to your environment, because if you don't adapt, and let's say mom's angry, I'm in my room doing my homework when she comes in to check on me, or I am quietly watching TV and out of sight and out of mind. If she's in a good mood, it can go in and say hi or whatever. So you kind of have to gauge how you're going to behave and read that body language, facial cues, tone in the voice, etc. So yeah, early on in life, you have to learn to read body language and be attuned to that energy, voice tone. And when you get older, that kind of just stays with you as an automatic response to kind of anybody that you encounter. Is that kind of like how you view it? That's just kind of how I've heard it scientifically explained, that you get like that.
Yeah, so I think I agree. Like it comes from something that's developed in childhood. I also think that you can be born empath. But as a child, when we can't really like develop skills to communicate as you can as an adult, you put out everything's a feeling because it's easier to understand. And then as we become adults, we have to learn to like pull our energy back to us, because empaths tend to be givers and they want everyone around them to be happy because we feel how other people feel around us. So if everyone's happy and you're an empath, you're going to feel happy. And
Right.
so a key to healing is that you find happiness within and you pull your energy within. And so when you do encounter people that are not in good energy or giving off good energy, you're able to be like, all right, that's not mine. And I don't have to worry about what's going on in their energy. I'm pulling my energy back. And you start to learn to feel better, because you can get overwhelmed, you can get overstimulated. You'll be all over the place if you are not keeping your energy pulled back. You'll feel all kinds of stuff. And when you're in an intimate relationship, it's a little different because you kind of like mold into like one, when you were with someone all the time
Oh yeah, if your person's
romantically.
upset about something, you're upset too.
And yeah, and you're sharing energy, you're sexual, there's a lot of like intermingling of energies. And so that's a little bit more like, I think, deep than just going out in the public and dealing with how to like pull your energy back and stuff. And then there's the whole thing on clearing your energy and cleaning your energy and stuff like that, because supposedly everything comes from energy.
It does.
illness
Yeah.
Disease, whatever issues that come up, it's all from energy. Our thoughts create energy, positive vibration, negative, everything is energy. It starts out as energy. That's quantum physics.
So
It's
I was
proven.
watching, so speaking exactly to this, I was watching podcasts with Dr. Joe, the guy that scientifically studies group meditation and this stuff. And she's talking about the study they did with people that have been in their program and do group meditation and meditate a lot. And they took cells from their body and they introduced just basic virus cells that would automatically in a petri dish, infect the cells. 100% rejection rate. The viruses wouldn't go into any of the cells from any of the people. And he said they ran the test like 3 times because the doctors couldn't believe this. People that were intermediate just started, getting into it around 50% of what they should see. So half of the cells were automatically repelling the virus. People that did not do the meditation, 100% of the cells were immediately infected by the virus. So it does come from source, and they do crazy research. But to stay on topic here, with empathy, there is a difference between empathy and sympathy. And empathy is like more about the understanding of the person's perspective and how they're feeling about it emotionally, where sympathy is you're feeling sorry for them, but you don't necessarily understand where they're coming from per se. I think we talked about this the other day. I was talking with somebody this the other day. A friend of hers, his wife died, and it was like in a horrific way. And people's natural reaction when somebody says, "Oh, my wife died. How did she die? I'm so sorry. How did she die?" That's sympathy, and you're not seeing where it's coming from, because when you ask them how do they die, even though it's just a normal response, right? This guy's got to relive this experience now. And that's crazy because I don't remember how she passed, but it wasn't like the kids found her. It was like a traumatic thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I'm just saying people's natural response, right, is somebody passed,
Yeah.
oh, how'd they die? And now this poor guy's got to relive that every time, and people don't realize that. But if you're empathic about it and you're speaking to him, he might say it and you might pick up from his vibe or his energy that it's something that he doesn't want to talk about and just kind of leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So to wrap it up, because I like that you touched on the meditation thing and the healing or whatever, the virus thing you spoke about. Again, and we spoke about this in another, about our body. Our body will do what the mind tells it to do. And so if we're constantly in a vibration of I'm healthy, I'm well, and meditating on seeing ourselves as healthy, that's how, that's energy that's getting put out. People that are constantly saying the negatives or complaining, I can't even think of an example.
I don't feel good. My back hurts, this and that.
Yeah. Or, my life's terrible, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, whatever. Just putting out like a negative thing, like then you're just amplifying.
Yeah, you're going to perpetuate it. You're going to audio loop it, backfeed. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's going to keep going.
We have to be aware of what our mind is saying to us and start to take steps to change the programming. Even if the outside world doesn't show a difference, we have to start it from inside, and then it has no choice but to manifest outside.
Well, let me stop you right there, because I was just going to say, it's a great point. People will hear, you got to set the intentions. You got to say them out loud. You got to yell your intentions every morning while you're driving to work. You say it to yourself all day. People can do that. You can do that. I'm going to get my promotion. I am going to get a raise. But if you haven't reprogrammed your brain and you don't believe it, and as you say it more and more, it'll reinforce it. But if you don't believe it and you haven't reprogrammed yourself, you can set and say all the intentions you want. It's not going to happen any faster because you still doubt, or you don't believe it, or you haven't reprogrammed your brain to say, just because I think this one thing, I don't have to believe what I'm thinking. This is going to happen for me. Done. And reprogram. And then those thoughts that you're doubting yourself, or the disparities you're casting on it, or the negative that you're, constantly putting out, that's gone.
Yeah. 21 days usually is like the habit point. So
what, to reprogram for meditation? Really?
Any habit.
Oh, okay. Any habit. Yep.
Any habit. It's usually 21 days, unless you have like a really strong will, then you could probably do it even quicker.
I mean, if you have discipline, if you're very disciplined, you can, get them instantly. But that again comes with practice.
Yes, practice, habit, and changing thought. I mean, that's basically what it is. All
Yeah,
right, well, we could talk more about that.
I read something like it said like doing something for 7 days is a something, 14 days is a hobby, 21 days is a habit. And if you do it for like 90 days, that's discipline or something like that. But it's true, the longer you do it, and then if you can stick to it and you can do it easier and easier for the next thing, and then that becomes discipline.
All right, and let's give one example of an affirmation that you can say to start a simple one, and then you can end it is, um, depending on, say, if you are working on career or love, you could just say something like, I always have so much love and support in my life. I have so much love and support in my life. I am a master at manifesting money. Just those basic little ones, and you start to say them, it lightens your energy if that's what you're focused on all day long. Okay.
Everything is working out for me. Say it, own it, believe it. Very smart woman told me to say that. I say it daily. I probably say it like 6 times a goddamn day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, go for 100 times a day. Everything is always working out for me. Everything always comes to me. Everything that is mine always comes to me.
It always does. All right, that's a good place to stop. And I gotta edit out that.